The promise of justice cannot be believed while veterans are assaulted for wanting to ask a simple question. The idea of success in Iraq cannot be believed while 5 million Iraqis reside in exile under subhuman conditions, while 8 million Iraqis live in desperate need of emergency assistance, and there can never be peace and freedom in Iraq alongside 180,000 mercenaries, tens of thousands of troops, permanent military bases, and the largest CIA corporate diplomatic complex in the world, which requires 20,000 people to operate. And shifting thousands of troops from Iraq and into Afghanistan is a rotten deal that we cannot allow any president, Congress, or administration to use the 9/11 attacks to justify the massive oppression of millions of people because of their natural resources and geopolitical position. The occupation... Thank you. The occupations of Iraq and Afghanistan. The occupation of Iraq is too hard to defend today. It cost the Republican Party the 2 chambers of Congress and helped Senator Obama get elected to the White House. So now they need a new centerpiece for the so-called global war on terror. It seems like the only way they can continue to advance their imperialist agenda, unleashing the most brutal and criminal wars of aggression against millions of Muslims, is to continue to justify this by choosing a centerpiece, which is the war in Afghanistan, the occupation of Afghanistan. And the promise of social uplift at home should not give the ruling elite a green light for more imperialist warmongering. While giving a talk in Salinas, California, a town ruled by poverty and gang violence where military recruiters get high returns for their efforts, a young Latin Marine, his wife sitting by him, asked me who would feed his family if he refused to redeploy to Iraq. His voice was full of pain, guilt perhaps. He said he had to fight in Iraq so that his family could escape poverty at home. So it's not enough to understand imperialism and to be able to connect to social injustice at home on a grand scale. We definitely need a theoretical basis for activism and a historical understanding and analysis of capitalism. But as revolutionary activists, we also have to make it a priority to identify and address the realities of the people. That young Marine in Salinas, California has a real need to escape poverty and protect his family. But fighting and killing poor and oppressed people in other countries is not the way to fight poverty and oppression at home. Because it is not right to do so, but also because it does not provide a real solution, because it merely delays the inevitable return to the same profit-driven system that creates misery and feeds on oppression both at home and abroad. Because it deepens the pain of inflicting death and destruction on civilian families, because there's no care to address the trauma, because 17 veterans commit suicide every single day in the United States. The time is right for change, not simply because the people elected an African American into the White House, but because of the larger meaning of that election, which is way larger than a single person. The significance of this election goes way beyond the charisma of one candidate, and he is very charismatic. It towers over a promise too hard to believe, but too beautiful to dismiss. Whether Barack Obama means it or not is not the question. The people voted for change. They voted against racism, against religious and political intolerance. And we as revolutionaries have an obligation not only to work with the president and his promises, or not to work with the president and his promises, but to see the revolutionary moment that is unfolding before our very eyes. The dragon that is capitalism has become so hungry that it has begun to eat itself. The profit-driven system that has oppressed us since its very inception is imploding. The people know that the system is collapsing within itself, that it is incapable to provide real solutions, that it has failed to keep families warm in the winter, to create jobs for the 10 million unemployed Americans, a system that has failed to prevent the foreclosures of millions of homes. The system collapses, yet it throws trillions of public dollars to those responsible for its collapse. The corporations, the military-industrial complex. The time is right for change, not because of the promises of one man, but because the people are ready for change. We will have democracy and peace and social uplift, and we will change the way we relate with other countries, only to the extent to which we understand and learn to work with this revolutionary moment in history. The people elected Senator Barack Obama because of the promise of change and because he offered hope at a time of desperate need. But we know real change can only take place at the grassroots, so the move is not his, but ours. The ball is in the people's court. The question is not whether we give him a year or 4 or 100 days to effect change. The question is how much time we give ourselves as a movement. How long do we wait? We cannot afford to wait 4 years or a year or 100 days. We cannot wait another day.